Nani,
Mascara say.
Makadini.
We are the Katiyos.
Today we've got a very special video. When we started dating, we had dinner apparently with a couple that we admire. They're now training to be pastors, and they gave us this idea of writing. Are you sure?
Yeah.
They gave us this idea of writing letters to each other. And so these were letters that we were writing to each other in the future. Did I say that right? Is the English right?
These were letters.
So
It's like
Tatenda was writing to a future me.
a time capsule letters.
And I'm writing to a future her. So she was telling me what she expects of me as a husband.
Yes.
And I was telling her what I expect of her as a wife. So with these little matching notebooks here.
Some of us still have ours intact.
Still does the job. So we found them the other day, and we're gonna read them out, and we'll see who has fallen short of expectations. Mine was a very long letter because some people can really write, and it's very hard to read her handwriting. So how many pages? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We might have 8, 9, 10. We might have to cancel some of them. We might have
You
to
have
skip.
8.
We have to skip. So I'm gonna read first. Dear Farai Katiyo, in my husband, I pray for someone who is patient, who is slow to anger and slow to yell. This was highlighted in green. If not any yelling at all. I pray for someone who is not hypocritical, doesn't judge, isn't condescending, and isn't rude. Someone who strives to better me and not make me bitter. Bars, bars. Someone who oozes love, who I don't fear no matter the situation. Someone who understands my differences and weaknesses and doesn't put me down for having them. Someone who knows I want to be taught.
Someone who knows
when I want to be taught and when I want to be smothered or rebuked. I want a husband who cares about me and my future. I want a husband with forgiveness and forgives my past. I pray for a husband who will help in life and not just leave me to slave around for him. I want a husband who will lift me when I humble myself before him, not push me even lower. I'd like a husband who is loyal to me and only me. I desire a husband who I won't have to worry about where he is, what he's doing. I repeat, I pray for a loyal and genuine husband who will never, in capital letters, cheat on me. I desire a husband who will enjoy being with me in my company, someone who will put God first and me and the family second. I desire a husband who prays and is spiritually strong, who knows the word and encourages me in the faith. A husband who loves to hear and read the word, who doesn't drink, smoke, gamble, watch porn. A husband who respects other women, my family, and his own family. A husband who accepts that I was not born, nor am I fluent. But you were born in Zimbabwe, okay, you're not fluent, maybe. A husband that accepts my faults and works to improve them rather than putting me down. A husband that does not put me down or call me names, who does not insult me. A husband I look for a father who will have fantastic.
In my husband, I look for a father who will have a
fantastic relationship with his sons or daughters. A husband who will speak with the children and who my children will not fear or feel comfortable enough to speak about anything. A husband who loves our children and is fully
involved
in every aspect of their lives, because you wrote it and your handwriting. A husband who will not suppress the children's dreams and desires and will not put them down. I pray for a husband who my children will love, adore, and not fear or despise or be disappointed in. Whew, we're almost there, people. People, if you need an exercise break, if you need to stretch, it's okay. I understand. I pray for a husband who allow his wife, who's what?
And his children
to be free and to be comfortable. I pray for a husband who knows and portrays what a Christian husband and father should be like. I pray for a husband who gives his family, grows his family in the faith. I pray for a well-kept husband of all husbands. I think you're asking a lot. A well-kept, well-groomed, well-dressed husband who will set a standard for other husbands. You should have married a Congolese. A husband who loves sports, exercising, praying, especially with me and the kids. A husband who is nice, who is appreciative of the things I do for them. A husband who supports me in my schooling, who will help me and encourage me if I do my
doctorate.
Wonderful. A husband who doesn't abuse his manhood. Manlyhood.
You
can abuse his manlyhood.
God!
This is not very clear. Who isn't patriarchal?
Yeah, go on.
That word, patriarchal. Huh?
Yes, okay.
Say that right in pronunciation.
It's patriarchal.
Okay. And isn't
chauvinistic. It
would have been useful if you could put the definitions. A husband who remembers anniversaries, birthdays, special occasions. A husband who likes to treat and pamper his wife from time to time. A husband who isn't ashamed or grossed out by women's cycles and other things. A husband who will be involved in the delivery and birth of his child. Isn't that the doctor's job? A husband
Farai.
For me, when I'm weak, who will help around the house when I'm unwell. A husband who will treat me like an equal and not like a lesser being. A husband who will not sleep angry, who will be quick to forgive and easily forget. A clean husband who takes care of the house, himself well, and practices proper hygiene. I pray for a husband with a fine body who doesn't let all standards fall after marriage. A husband who respects me and my body. And a husband who communicates and doesn't blackmail or force me to do anything I don't want to do. A husband who loves to do the work of God and is anointed in what he does. A husband who puts God first in everything he does. I pray and I know that God is making you into the husband I desire and pray for, and that even the things I have not mentioned or that myself do not know, I shall come to pass more and more each day. God is making you into the perfect husband, my perfect father to my children, and my perfect boyfriend. Love you always, your perfect wife to be. I hope you guys had some popcorn.
Farai's is a bit shorter than mine, and he writes a bit bigger as well. So I think it's probably six pages instead of 8 because of his writing. Anyway, it says, Dear Tatenda, I'm writing this letter to you to let you know what I'm hoping to see and find in my wife to be. Brackets you. I want a wife who loves God more than she loves me. Such a woman will encourage my relationship with God because the only way to find her is to go through God. So if I can't pursue God, I can't find such a woman because she is running alongside him.
This brother, who is he? Hey!
I want a woman who loves me, but by love, I mean in all its forms. She must be sexually, physically attracted to me. I want to know that I fulfill her.
Let's go.
Fulfill her romantic and passionate desires as she fulfills mine. I want her to be my friend, for us to genuinely get along. I want her to laugh at my jokes as I laugh at hers. I want to share work stories with her as she shares with me. For us to have a philia type of love. I want us to share agape, or that Christ-like love. I do not know if it is possible for humans to love each other that way, but I want us to be one in spirit and one in Christ. I want a woman who believes in me and who trusts my ability to lead her and our kids. Without her trust, I will not get far in life, because if she can't trust me, she will not walk with me, and a divided home cannot accomplish anything. I want a woman who respects me. This has been highlighted. One who will not overstep my authority in the home or oppose me in public. I believe that even if a wife disagrees with her husband, showing him in the
view of others. Showing a disagreement in front of people.
Is not ideal. This includes my family, her family, strangers, and even our children. I want a woman who is honest and that will never lie to me about anything. This includes lying about her thoughts, feelings. This has been underlined and highlighted. Her errors, her concerns, her disappointment with me, or her relationship with God. I want a wife who is faithful to God, a wife who will live an orderly Christian life, a wife who fears not and sins not. I want a wife who creates a warm and loving spirit in the home. I believe women dictate the mood in the house. I want a fun, talkative, open, loving, warm, loving has been put twice. Loving and inviting home.
I was writing under the Spirit of God.
Not a cold, silent, distant, closed up and hostile home. I do not want a quarrelsome wife, but I want a house where people discuss instead of shouting, snobbing, avoiding or insulting each other. Lastly, I want a wife who is a role model to my sons and especially daughters. A woman who is true reflection. But there's no a.
All right.
A woman who is a true reflection of a woman of God. A true Proverbs 31 woman who will also lead other women into becoming better wives, mothers, women in the Lord. A woman who can mentor young, broken or misled young women in the church and community that God has placed us in. I also pray you will be a woman who is healthy, someone with a high standard in when it comes to personal hygiene and grooming, someone who promotes healthy eating, exercise, outdoor activity. I want someone who will always put effort to stay in shape.
Yes.
And look her best for me. I pray you become a wife who honors and vows until our vows until death do us part.
Wonderful. Wow. What do you have to say?
Everything seems to be about the way somebody looks here.
Louder.
Everything seems to be about the way someone looks here.
Well, all I have to say is I'm actually very surprised about the things I said. I think a lot of those things are quite touching, to be honest. Wow. And I think, in all honesty, I'm glad we wrote these. I think we definitely have to keep reading them throughout life. And they'll always be a constant reminder. To me, this is more than just a letter he wrote to me. In accepting this letter, I think I made a vow to be this person that you have said here. And I would assume that in accepting mine, you made a vow to be that person. And I like the scripture in, I think it's in 1 Corinthians, where it talks about the more we look towards God, the more we become like God. I think the more we sort of read these and pray about them and pray for each other, the more we become these people. And in all honesty, in the short time I've lived with you, I think you've lived up.
Most.
Yeah, you've done well. I can actually take many things from that letter that young man wrote to you.
I think that's a funny part, that reading it, you were sort of like, actually, I agree with, like, I haven't read anything there that has changed, or that I'm like, nah, I take that back. So I think it sort of remains consistent, and I think you're right in the sense that, like, personally, I am looking at that and I'm like, oh, wow, like I had completely forgotten about that. At the same time, I'm like, oh, yeah, you do tick off, things on this list that some of the stuff I didn't even, I had forgotten in a sense.
Yeah.
And now it's sort of, I'm like, oh, he does do that. At the same time, I'm like, oh, I don't do that.
Is there anything that stuck out to you from your letter that you're like, yeah, I think I need to improve in that?
As in, you need to improve?
Yeah. It's a lot. Your letter is a lot to consume.
Yeah, my letter is thorough.
It's a buffet.
It's a buffet, yeah.
Whereas mine's a snack.
No, yours is la carte, but it's still a meal, but it's not a buffet. No, personally.
Well, actually, I'll stop you there. I think with some of these things, right, as much as you wrote them to me, I think I cannot do them without your help.
Yeah.
Like I'm just reading here, a well-kept, well-groomed, well-dressed husband will be a standard for other husbands. And let's be honest, this well-dressing business, we both know that is not my specialty. If you are gonna rely on me to dress myself, I'm not gonna be the standard for other husbands. But I can become this person with you helping me, and this is an area where I have to surrender to you.
He's fully surrendered.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's something that stuck out to me. But yeah, is there anything that you think I need to improve?
I think overall, I would say like 80% you do. And then the other 20% is like, you do, but you don't do it fully. And there's like, we've been married for what?
A couple of months.
4 months. So, and this was written maybe 5 years ago. So it's not going to happen in 3 months that you're going to be the perfect person or the perfect husband that I had envisioned in my head. It's not going to happen in 3 months. So listening to it, I'm not sitting here like, he doesn't do anything that's on that list. If anything, I'm like, oh, I don't realize how much of how much you fit into what I had asked of you without even reading this. If that makes sense. So I wouldn't say there's anything there that I'm like, yeah, you don't do this here, you don't do that.
I think even for me, I say, wow, like, yeah, you're right, that I don't really struggle with. To me, some of these things are just like, yeah, duh, it's pretty basic stuff. But this has been a really good exercise. You're not really saying anything, mate. Like, go through the letter and analyze it. You're just sitting there.
No, The only thing I would probably say in terms of your letter is like, I think personally I tick off majority of the stuff on this list. The only one will probably just be like
What? Tell us.
the only one I'd probably say is you know, around here, which is about the atmosphere of the home, which sort of, it goes back to the 80-20 that I was talking about. Some people can be a bit, what shall we call it, sassy? Or shall we call it sassy?
Just play.
Alright. Okay. The whole part about, you know, the atmosphere in the home.
Who said it?
Farai
said what?
Not a cold, silent, distant, closed up, hostile home. I do not want a quarrelsome wife, but I want a house where people discuss instead of shouting, sobbing, avoiding, or insulting. I do like to avoid a lot. I don't like confrontation. I don't like raising voices, things like that. Whereas Farai...
Well, that's good because it means you're not quarrelsome.
I'm not quarrelsome,
yeah,
but
I
do avoid.
Yeah.
So...
Closed up.
I'm closed up. And sometimes when Farai gets to the point where he's having, you know, one of his moments of heated discussions where he like
our counselors call them what? Passionate moments of fellowship.
Passionate moments of fellowship.
Yeah.
Farai is the type of person where the more involved or passionate he gets about something, the louder his voice gets. Not that he's yelling, but like I'm used to no yelling at all. So as soon as he raises just a tiny bit, I'm like, I'm a clock out. And he's like, let's talk about it now. Let's dissect it now. And I'm like, I need time to think about all this and process my emotions. And Farai's like, nah. Talk now. So I would say for me, one of the major parts that stuck out was avoiding. I do like to avoid confrontation, whereas Farai likes to have confrontation. He thrives on confrontation.
I like to do things then and there. I don't like to procrastinate. You know, I believe you know, the best time to fix a problem is when the problem arrives, you know. Yeah, but this has been a really good exercise. Thank you for writing this.
We also have another, so you guys tell us if you want us to do, we have a Don't Touch Me's list as well. We have a lot of things in this book that we did, a lot of exercises. We have a list of Don't Touch Me's, which are
Don't touch me.
Yeah, Don't Touch Me, the rules that we set so that the other person...
We can keep our boundaries.
We can keep our boundaries. So if you guys would like us to read our Don't Touch Me's, let us know in the comments. And yeah.
This has been fun. We hope you enjoyed this. And we're going to lock these up in our vault. Maybe read them to our children one day.
I think we should actually write now as married people what we expect.
Maybe we should update.
Yeah.
We should do a review. Maybe every 5 to 10 years. We say, mate, this is how I feel right now. I hope this next da-da-da-da. But anyway, thanks for watching. God bless. We love you. And we wish nothing but the best of you.